Welcome to the Money Watch Pod. It's Tuesday, July 18th, and we are here answering your financial questions, trying to help you make better decisions as you contemplate your future and things going on in your real life. So, Mark, I had a big, interesting question that was put to me, and I said, I'm going to have to ask some of the men in my life because, as you know, I am a woman. My pronouns are she, her. So here's the situation, Mark. You dated somebody for a long time, right? Like you had like a first long relationship. How long was that?
3-ish, 4 years maybe.
Okay, so imagine you're dating someone, it's like 7, 8 years. You're engaged and someone is getting cold feet. You know, there's a date that is set, but someone is getting cold feet. What do you think about that?
Not a good sign.
Okay, but could it be like I got cold feet and so let's just chill out and put everything on pause? So if you were engaged and someone you're betrothed said to you, yeah, I'm yes, but I'm a little nervous. This is a little overwhelming to me. Can we just delay? Oh, you see, that's what I thought. That was interesting. So you would not be happy with that.
That would be cause for concern.
Let's ask our caller today, Tim from Pennsylvania. Tim, what do you think? Do you think that like if someone you've been dating for 7 years who's like really been committed, but is just getting some cold feet, she wants to just sort of say, like I can't breathe. So what do you think?
I think I'm with Mark on this.
Oh my God. You see, I knew that there was going to be, because, I think that I'm trying to be the adult in the room and say, well, why not? Just it's a pause. No big deal. Someone says pause with me. Okay, let's pause. There's a lot of reasons, but you guys are just chucking the whole thing. Oh, brother. Okay, how long do we have? If it's scheduled for the summer of 2024, when do you have to call it off? When do you have to have the conversation? Now, right?
Yeah.
What do you say, Tim?
I think you say it now. I mean, I've never heard of a couple that delayed it then getting married. I've heard of couples delaying it then never having the wedding.
Yeah. You're probably right, both of you. I'm trying to be more upbeat about like, it doesn't matter. You can take a time out. But you know what? You're probably both right. All right. Well, that's it for the wedding show. We're done with that. Think of all the money you'll save. Tim is our caller from Pennsylvania. He's on the line to give all sorts of relationship advice. So, Tim, really, no. Why are you coming on today? Tell us what's going on.
All right. I was going to say, no one wants to hear my relationship advice. I am on here today to just check in with you guys. My wife and I both just switched jobs recently. So we have a little bit more income coming in and trying to decide what to do with that, coupled with, we have a 3-year-old, so 529 planning. And, kind of the big elephant in the room is both of our jobs do qualify us for a pension. And so kind of right now we're actually, bring on the hate mail, we're not actually putting anything towards retirement until we kind of figured out what the plan was.
So how old are you, Tim?
I am 38. Okay.
And your wife is?
37, will be 38.
Okay, I'm going to say both 38. You said 1 3-year-old. Future kids maybe, or are we stopping at 1?
One and done. We are old and tired.
Okay, so let's talk about the new jobs. How much are you earning in the new jobs?
So I make $110,000 a year, and she makes $70,000.
So you're not putting any money in retirement right now. Are you putting money into a pension? In other words, are they holding back a certain amount of money, 8%, 6% or something that goes into the pension?
Yes. We are doing that. We're not doing any sort of other contributions.
Okay. Tell me about the pension. What are the rules around it? How long you have to stay there?
So we would need to stay for 10 years. But these are, so a little caveat too, we both are switched jobs. We're already in the pension system. So I have 7.5 years in the system. And so I'll vest in a little under 3 years. And my wife is actually already vested. And so she's just now, kind of increasing what the amount would be when she'd eventually collect.
Fantastic. That's great. Do you guys have any money that is in other retirement accounts besides these pensions?
Yes, we do.
Tell me about those.
Okay, so we have in my 457B, we have 51,000 in a traditional, 13,000 in a Roth, My wife just switched jobs back to this one, and in her old 401k, she has 30,000 in a traditional. She has about 7,500 in rollover, half of which is Roth, half is traditional. And then I have a rollover from previous employments, a traditional at 48,000 and a Roth at 27,000.
So in your current job, though, you could, in other words, could you take your rollover and your 457 and pop it all into the new plan?
So the 457 is actually the same plan.
Okay, I got you.
I just paused on
New money. I got you.
when I had my student loans. We used to do a lot of the traditional to try to lower my income for purposes of the payments. But now that that's been forgiven, we didn't need to do that to try to lower my income for payment.
Oh, wait,
purposes.
you did public loan forgiveness?
I did. I just got it forgiven about 2 months ago.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. Congratulations. Any other debt that remains for your wife in terms of student loans?
No, we paid off of all of her loans.
Great. Okay. How about just plain old money in the bank?
So we have about 45,000 in cash or like short-term cash reserves.
Mm-hmm. And what about a brokerage account?
We have 44,000.
Where is like all these accounts, like the rollover and the brokerage? Where is that help?
Those are all at Vanguard.
Oh, good. Anyone listening from Vanguard, by the way, because Tim's from Pennsylvania and it reminds me of Vanguard. Why are they not advertising on our show? We do commercials for them like literally every show. What about money in a 529 plan for your one and done 3-year-old?
So we have about 10,000 in there.
Okay. And it's only you guys? Are there grandparents that are helping or what?
So it's pretty much just us. Some of the grandparents have said they've started accounts for him, but we don't know what or how much that is.
You don't trust it, do you?
It'll be a pleasant surprise if it comes to be.
I like that. I like a pleasant surprise. The pension that you would be entitled to, is it one of these plans? Is it a municipality or is it a teaching pension?
It's a state government.
Okay, so state government, what's the game plan? Like, do you think you'll stay for 20 or 30 years? Do you like where you are? What do you think's going to happen?
So I think I will definitely stay for the length of my career, most likely. My wife is more back and forth. I think she could pop in and out, which is fine since she's already invested. So
okay. All right, that's great. What would the pension look like if you're in your 38? So, if you did 20 more years or something, or 23, if you had 30 years in, what would the pension be?
So the pension, the max payout, assuming my salary kind of just did a 3% increase from here on out, would probably be about 120,000 a year.
Wow.
And then with the survivor benefit, it'd probably be I would choose would be the 100,000 a year, and then she would be able to collect the full amount as long as she was still alive as well.
That's amazing. So you're making 180 now. You're saving some money. You guys have a house?
We do.
Tell me how much it's worth. About.
Probably value now is around 375,000.
Okay, and you have a mortgage?
We do 3.5%, and there's 212,000 left on it.
Okay, and you're not making any extra payments, right?
No.
Fabulous. No plans to move?
No, we moved into this house specifically for our son for the school district.
All right. What else do I need to know about you guys? You got some life insurance?
We do. We each have a $500,000 policy, and then our employer provides I think it's 2 times our salary. In addition.
Do you have your will and your healthcare proxy and your durable power of attorney?
We're actually in the process of updating those. They just sent us back the draft, and then we have to review it to get it back to them. So
Isn't that fun, reviewing the draft? I mean, truly, it's just like, you're kidding me, right? Okay. So when you're looking at your cash flow right now on your current income, which is higher, and you're not putting money into retirement, do you have an idea about how much money you're spending?
Yes. So I track everything to the penny, but I would say you could round it up, and I would say we're spending $8,000 a month or less, and that includes the childcare costs.
Great, which are going to go away in a couple of years, right?
Yeah, that's probably going to be about $13,000 to $14,000 a year we'll have back in our pocket.
when you look at the spending, there's nothing that's going to come up that I need to know about. Like, it's not going to go to 12,000. If anything, it's going to go down by, let's just call it $1,000 a month, right?
Yeah, the 8 is pretty high for us. Some months it's as low as 65, and then obviously if there's some big expense, it might jump up to 85. So I just call it 8,000 per month.
And when you are collecting a pension, you're not carving out anything. You will receive Social Security in addition to your pension?
Yes. And if I do my whole career, I'll get health care for both of us.
I see why you're not putting money into retirement. If you had 100 for her, 100 for you with a survivor benefit, what do you think we could count on for her in terms of her pension?
So if she could between back and forth hit 15 years, she'd be probably looking at about 35 to 40,000.
Oh my God, they're totally fine. So what should we do with their money, Mark? What else do we need to know about for Tim? Should we just pop it into the 529 plan, or what do you think?
Well, how much are we talking about on a monthly basis that you have?
So she's just starting to get it, so it's a little kind of back of the napkin, but I think it'll be around 3,000.
Woo, that's real money.
I mean, the 529, who knows what's in the other accounts from the family members, but assuming it's not much. The 529 is a little light, but I wouldn't put all of it into the 529. I would put, if you have 3,000 a month, I'd probably put 1,000 into the 529 and 2,000 into a brokerage is what I would do.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't see a huge reason for you to use the retirement accounts. You've got some money in retirement. Look, you're not going to be quite as tax efficient by having your money go post-tax. On the other hand, look, you make 180 grand together. That means that your top bracket is 22%. That's going to probably be your tax bracket for the rest of your lives. I mean, it's just the way it is. In other words, if we were looking forward and I said, okay, you're going to have $135,000 a year from your pension. There's going to be some more money than that in your Social Security. That's got to land you squarely in 22% for pretty much forever. So I don't have a problem paying the tax at 22% right now. I think the only difference that I would be thinking about going forward is that, if something is going on in terms of, her maybe making different choices about career and things that are changed, or you're spending a lot more money, then we might make a different decision. But I like the 1,000, 2,000 as well. You only have one kid. Is there anything else with this extra cash flow that you're tempted to do?
No, that was my plan, was to build up the brokerage for a while, and then I figured we could always revisit maybe adding some to the Roth and the 457 plans down the road. I just felt like we needed to build that brokerage account up a little bit. I mean, the only caveat I will say is I would have to retire to start collecting without any penalty at 65. So if I wanted to retire a little earlier, I could just delay collecting it, and I figured I could even draw from the brokerage if I had to. Absolutely.
Can I just ask one question? Because you added a little flavor in your email, which said that you have a family history that's not like you don't have a lot of longevity in your family. Is that right?
So we have a lot of people who passed when they were relatively young. Luckily, I'm trying to take care of myself. I don't smoke, do all the right things, but it is definitely a possibility.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question. In that case, Mark, should we get him another? You're healthy right now, right?
I am.
Should we add to his life insurance policy? Because, if you die before that pension starts to max out, there is a concern I have about your wife as the survivor. So maybe we really need a little bit more life insurance. What do you think, Mark?
It's certainly a good investment. I mean, with $3,000 extra a month, I think they can afford, it'll probably be like $50 a month.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What do you think about that? Does that seem reasonable, Tim? Just like in terms of like, it really is not forever, but it's kind of for the next 10 years. I want to get you not just to your 10-year mark, so not just 3 years. I'd like to get you into this pension system so that you got some real heft. And in case something bad were to happen prior to that, I think it would make more sense for you to carry a little more life insurance. But there's nothing in your health record that would make you be rated. In other words, you don't have some condition that they're going to be like, oh, it's going to cost you $1 gazillion, right?
No, it would just be when we first got him after we got married, it was purely based my higher rate was based on just the family health history.
Okay. All right. Well, you're in good health, so I would get another $500,000. Mark, is there a big difference between doing it for 10 or 15 or 20 years?
Usually not. It's not, no. I mean, go online, just compare the quotes. But if there's not a big difference, then, pay a few bucks extra.
That's what I would do. That's exactly what I would do. All right. What else can we do for you, my man, Tim?
I think that answered all my questions. It seemed like so many changes lately. I was getting a little overwhelmed. So thank you.
Oh, we're so happy that you can help. And thank you for your relationship advice for the unnamed friend of the pod. Okay. Thank you so much for that. If you, like Tim and his wife, are switching jobs and maybe you have a pension, maybe you don't have a pension, maybe one will be part of a pension system, one might not make it. Just because you have a pension today doesn't mean you're staying for your whole career. So we get that. But if you are weighing two different jobs, one does have a pension, one doesn't. That's very interesting. By the way, in the recent jobs report in June, I noticed that government added a ton of jobs. And I think this is a really good place to look for. You listen to this podcast, you can see how excited Mark and I get by a pension announcement by one of you who call in, because it's really hard to save money after tax and accumulate enough wealth to generate $100,000 a year in income. And that income is guaranteed. So imagine that. If you never didn't have to worry about it, it's huge. So before you start to poo-poo a government job, you may want to keep that in the back of your mind. So let us know if you've got a job offer. We'd love to help you out. Everything that we do lives on our website, JillOnMoney.com. And it is there that you can hit the contact us button and write us a note. Let us know what's going on. You can also sign up for our free weekly newsletter. It comes out every single Friday, and you can subscribe to our service called Jill on Money Live. That is where you have access to quarterly live webinars and bonus contents, extra interviews that we post, video, audio, whatever I feel like. Like today, I'm going to do an audio because I'm not camera ready. And I just said that to Mark. I think he's not happy with me. Mark, you unhappy with me about that or not?
I don't get unhappy. No, I roll with the punches.
It's a lot of punches to roll with. Anyway, you are listening to him, Mark Talercia, the co-host and the executive producer. He's also now our web king, and we are distributed by Paramount Global. We drop episodes twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. We will talk to you on Thursday.